kids, and we started the Relive products. I started in January of '09, and my husband in February of '09. And I am so glad that he did. We took a trip to Israel, and my husband had a fall in not far from the Dead Sea, and his leg started to swell, and the doctors treated it as though it was simply a bump or a hematoma. What they didn't know that it was septicemia. And so after 3 weeks of being mistreated and misdiagnosed by doctors, they finally did a biopsy and realized how serious it really was, and he was operated on the next day. Now, the doctors had said that they had feared, since they had given him wrong medication, that septicemia would have gone throughout his whole body, that the operation was going to take over an hour. My husband at the time was over 50, and the physical therapist was concerned for the movement in his knee because he had been off his feet for about 3 weeks. And I really believe, thanks to the Relive products, when they operated on him, the operation took only 10 minutes. They were able to put in a drain. All of the infection was drained out. Of course, he had to go through antibiotic therapy, but it was this physical therapist that was really amazed. He only had 3 physical therapy appointments. He was in great shape after 3 appointments with the physical therapist. Back on his feet very quickly, and I'm really thankful for what the products have done for my husband.
Wow. And Shelby, did that sort of cement the business in your mind?
Well, it absolutely did. We had started the business in the beginning of February, and again, it was my husband that really saw this business opportunity for us, because I had my own business here in France for many years, and he had been paid from the United States, and we knew that both types of retirement were not going to be much of anything. And so my husband had seen the residual form of income, and it was funny. We started the business before we even seen many of our own results, but that was just like another brick in our wall of belief. And within the first 4 months, we were able to pay for the products for our entire family. That's 6 kids and 2 adults. After the first year, I was able to close down my other business and then have the luxury of working Relive from our home. I think the business has many, many benefits for us. One is that I'm able to be a real mom and a real grandma. I'm able to say yes every time my grandchildren want to come. And another thing is we've had a complementary income for our family for the last 6 years that we would not have had it not been for this company. And, several trips, a nice iPad. Our highest income was right around 2,300 euro. But we've been able to help people in 2 areas that are really important for everyone in the area of health and finances. So we love what we do, and we're going to keep on doing it.
Well, long may it continue, Shelby. Thank you so much. I mean, I'd like to share with everybody that this is 10:10 at night for Shelby. So it's great that you were able to come on and share for us. We're very grateful, Shelby, and thank you so much.
My pleasure. Oh, you're welcome.
See you soon. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye-bye.
I'll just check whether we have David on the line. I think not. No. So we'll go across the pond to Maureen. Maureen, you've had some amazing results with these products, and you're enjoying the business, and you've had a wonderful trip you've just come back from. So would you like to share all of that with us? That would be wonderful.
My pleasure, Leslie. My name is Maureen Sowens, and I live in Rochester Hills, Michigan. And about 5 years ago now, I was introduced to the Relive Nutrition and didn't think it'd be any different than anything else out there, because what a lot of people didn't know is that I had spent 6 years with a naturopathic doctor trying to find out why I couldn't take a supplement without being sick with either a rash or nausea all the time. But amazingly, my first result with Relive was I knew the value of prevention. And when I could take it and knew it was a valuable supplement that was going to help me, I was just happy that I could take it without being sick. But I started to see other results very, very quickly. And one of them was from a lifelong autoimmune disease that I had from age 19, and I was 57 at the time, that caused fibromyalgia and neuropathy on the left side of my body. due to damage to my sympathetic nervous system that they believe a virus attacked when I was young. Nobody could really help me. Cardiologists, neurologists, cranial surgeons, vascular surgeons, they couldn't really help me, and it kept me from going out in the heat or doing peak aerobic activity. But amazingly, on this nutrition, I was able to become symptom-free in 13 months, including the fact that my left ventricle in my heart had become compromised. I had a small stroke, and I had no residual effects from that. And after 13 months, as I said, on this nutrition, I became symptom-free. I just got back from Hilton Head, South Carolina, playing on the beach with my grandkids, something I could have never done before. I'm able to exercise or Zumba 3 days a week, lowered my heart rate 10 beats per minute. And my latest result is that my blood panel is as best as it's ever been in my whole life. At 62, they're amazed at the University of Michigan that my cholesterol, my good cholesterol, is off the charts, and all of my other blood work is perfectly in line. And, you know, I was a decorative painter. Is as best as it's ever been in my whole life. At 62, they're amazed at the University of Michigan that my cholesterol, my good cholesterol, is off the charts, and all of my other blood work is perfectly in line. And, you know, I was a decorative painter at the time for many years in restoration, and I had my own firm, and I wasn't looking really for added income. But amazingly, because I did choose to come in at that top profit level for savings, we started to earn money right away. When people saw what happened to me, I couldn't be quiet, Leslie. And just by people connecting me to other people, just like we're doing on these stories today, I did stay faithful and consistent on these products. And with that, the business started to grow on its own. We earned just under $2,000 the first 8 weeks, which paid for our products and put a little extra money in our pockets with a generous bonus. And in that first year, we took our first trip with Relive and saw the heart of this company when we went on a Relive Disney cruise and saw people from all over that were just like us, working around their busy jobs, just working part-time very consistently into their daily lives, because everywhere we went, we heard health and finances, two things people really seem to need the most help with. And our highest month has been about $3,100. We just came back from Mexico from our fourth Relive trip, and where Relive just says, you know what, we're going to say thank you for just helping other people. And, you know, we didn't ever get that in corporate America, and I certainly, owning my own firm, was just patting myself on the back. I left a mark on a lot of people's walls, but now I'm leaving a mark on people's lives, and we just love what we do. We see this as our future, our retirement income. We're able to travel to go see our kids that live out of state and our grandkids, and I've been home 8 days this month and been able to do a business right around that from wherever I've been in the country or out of the country. So you can bet this is going to be a big part of our lives until we're no longer breathing, because we see the hope we can bring to others, Leslie.
Well, that's amazing. And this trip to Mexico, I guess they put you up in tents, and it's pretty rough going, was it?
They really rough it in those 5-star resorts. Yeah, you betcha. Just amazingly, very humbled every time we go on a trip to see how well we're treated. And again, it's just for them to say thank you for sharing this hope with others.
That's wonderful. Well, you know, Relive is a very generous company, and thank you so much for sharing all that, Maureen.
My pleasure.
And, you know, there's a gentleman on the call who has also just come back from that trip to Mexico and hasn't been slumming it either. So, Chris Mum, would you like to share with everybody just what the whole Relive thing has happened for you and how you feel about Relive?
I'd be happy to. Can you hear me okay, Leslie?
Yes, fine.
Wonderful. Yes, I'm happy to. We do get spoiled on those. Those are wonderful treats, needless to say. But Vivian and I, we live in Gresham, Oregon. We're just outside of Portland, and we have lived here about 25 years. And Relive rescued us twice. The first time was about 22 years ago, and she had just given birth to our 9th child. All 9 were at home, and she came down with such severe pains in her arms and her legs that she was crawling around our home. And when we got her into the doctor, he pronounced that she had a disease most people have never even heard of called post-polio syndrome. It's a recurrence of the polio she had as a child. In fact, it's hit most of these kids. It blindsided the medical community, everybody. And to this day, there's still nothing, medicine-wise, for those with post-polio syndrome. And so we were told 22 years ago that Vivian was going to a wheelchair, that there really was nothing we could do for her. We were in a panic. Needless to say, 9 kids at home. Our oldest is 17, youngest is an infant. And we're looking desperately for anything that will help us. We're going to a health food store. Products are coming at us left and right, and nothing is helping her. And pretty soon the ladies in our church started bringing in food and helping with the wash. And one of them brought over this product called Relive, and she just said, I don't know if this will help you or not, but it's eliminated my fibromyalgia pain, reduced my migraines. It might. I don't know. And it was kind of like, man, not another product, please. I think we've tried them all. I think we're done. And she helped us understand that this was not a miracle product, but that the body was a miracle. If we could just feed it right, amazing things can happen. Well, Vivian did start taking it. And she took it about 3 times a day and really didn't see anything at all at first. But in about 3 weeks, she noticed a little bit of energy. She hadn't felt that in months because she had chronic fatigue. And then she noticed her irritable bowel syndrome began to clear up, and then her depression began to lift. In about 2.5 months, she started to come off the bed very slowly, still had a lot of pain, but she just got feeling a little better and a little better, and she's now been taking the products, as I mentioned, for 22 years, and she never went to the wheelchair. It literally gave our 9 children their mother back. So for us, this is a gift of all gifts. We are just so indebted to the person who brought it to us. And I'm a little embarrassed, though, to tell you that we went for a good 15 years, and we didn't share this with a whole lot of people. We were the beneficiaries of this wonderful gift, but we didn't tell others about it much. But about 7 years ago, I got a wake-up call, and it was a different kind of wake-up call. For me, it was my income. I had worked in the same company. I did industrial marketing for a manufacturing company here. I did the advertising for them, and I thought I was very secure. I'd been there for 19 years and had reported to the CEO. But when we got bought out by another company, and they were actually outside of the country, I realized I could be in trouble. And when they laid off the CEO in November of 2007, I became very concerned. I was 59 years old, and I began looking for work, and much to my shock, I couldn't even get an interview, let alone a job. And that's when I became very concerned, because we still had 3 of our 9 children at home. Actually, 2 were college age, 1 in high school. And in our despair of how in the world am I going to support this family if I lose this job and I can't get one, that we remembered Relive. I didn't particularly want to do this. I knew it was network marketing. I go, man, I know what people think of MLMs, and, I've heard scams and pyramids. I go, man, I don't want to do this kind of business. No one ever makes money from what I'd always heard, but I had no options, and I was very frightened. And so I had to do something. I knew the products had patents, so I knew people couldn't go around me if I introduced it to them. I also knew it had customer loyalty. We'd been buying this stuff for 15 years, and nobody called and said, do you want to buy more? So I thought, well, maybe this business is different. So we came into the business in July of 2008 just to see if we could build a financial safety net. And our $100, and the next month it doubled, and that was nice. It didn't replace the corporate income, but at least I wasn't losing money. In the 4th month, we moved over $20,000 worth of product. That kind of got me. I go, this is really interesting. We have none of the trappings of a traditional business. We have no overhead, no employees, virtually no inventory, which are the 3 big expenses of any business, and we don't have any of them, and we're moving this kind of volume. And I said, this is really an interesting business. And in the 6th month, which is January of 2009, I lost my job. There were 6 of us in our company. We were all middle-aged as well as middle management, and I just turned 60 years of age. They just took us out. We were gone in hours. And one guy had been there for over 20 years. As I said, I'd been there for 19 years, and we were gone. And there certainly was nowhere to go in January of 2009. That was the big crash in the economy here, many parts of the world, but especially here in America. And nobody was hiring. Everybody was laying off. And so I just came home. And so Vivian and I went full-time into this business, and we've now been doing that, either part-time or full-time, for almost 7 years. And last year, for 2014, our 1099 from Relive was for nearly $85,000. So it's for real. And we're very grateful. So this company and this opportunity, these products have rescued us twice, once for my wife's health and once for my finances, and I'm very grateful.
Wow. And you've been to Mexico too. So the company sure reward you very well, not just financially, but also by all the lovely extras that come along when you do help enough people. That is how you earn trips, and it's just wonderful. Well, it's an amazing story, Clismon. I mean, first of all, for Vivian, it changed her life and changed the whole family's life, because it's, as a mom and a grandma, it's unbelievable to think that with 9 children at home, you would have had to cope with your wife in a wheelchair. That would have been one of the worst things imaginable. And then to be able to eventually share the business through need, and then be able to help so many people that you could bring your income back to that sort of figure is just wonderful.